My name is GangstaSweet from the GangstaSweet Talk Podcast.
Hey, I'm Mike. Welcome to Podcast Diaries. These are the stories of podcasters who feel alone, just like you. So, Sweet, give me an idea of what you do in the real world when you're not podcasting, if you don't mind.
Basically, when I'm not podcasting, I'm actually being I have kids who are all in sports and stuff.
Oh.
So I do a lot of being with them. All my time be with them when I'm not podcasting.
Sure. So let's talk about your show real quick. Tell me about your show, where it came from, and what it's about.
Actually, I started my show last year. My show is based off of mental health.
Okay.
Again, I said that I spend a lot of time with my kids. A lot of people look up to me for that type of stuff, and so I just base it off of that and let people know what I go through and what we just go through on life, everyday life challenges and stuff. So we just talk about that on my podcast. We all just trying to grow together and just grow together I'm trying to grow with my audience trying to grow with me. We all just trying to become better people on my podcast. It's basically what it's about, just growing.
So do you host it by yourself? Do you have co-hosts? Do you have guests? How does that work?
Yes, I don't have any co-hosts right now. I am solo right now. I do be having guests. I be having I have artists, all type of stuff that give just encouraging words to audience.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. I mean, that's all we can do, right? Is try to help others, and I think that's kind of why we're all here. Ultimately, if we help others help us. That's kind of the whole game here, right?
Right.
So, what is? Give me kind of an idea of the motivation behind this thing. I mean, you've kind of explained to us what it's about and what it may feel like whenever you listen to it, but what's your personal motivation for doing this?
My personal motivation I just really want to grow.
Okay.
I just really want to with my audience.
So what does that mean to you? Like growth? What areas do you want to grow in?
I want to grow mentally.
Okay.
I want to grow physically.
Okay.
Emotionally, and also financially. We also talk about investing and stuff. So yeah, all around the areas. That's basically what I'm trying to get to.
I got you. So you've mentioned mental awareness and being able to help people in those areas a couple of times. So give me an idea what that looks like. Where does that come from for you? Why do you need to help people with their mental state?
I feel like I needed to help people with mental health and advice and stuff because I'm a type of person that holds my my feelings and stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So my podcast helps me releases that. So I just felt like if I needed it, I felt like the world needed it. And my audience, it was a lot of people who just wanted advice from me, being that they think that I was getting through things, but I was only my podcast really helped me get through it.
Yeah.
Because I can talk to my podcast.
I get that. That's a great reason to do anything, right? I mean, the thing I always compare, maybe the kind of the reason you do your podcast. So there's a lot of people I meet that do it for the same reason, right? It feels like it's a selfish thing because you want to do this to yourself, you want to do that to yourself, and help yourself grow and become a better person. But the thing I always compare it to is if you ever get on an airplane, there's a little instruction sheet there about what happens if the oxygen things drop from the top of the airplane, right? And the first picture, or one of the pictures, is a mother who has to put the mask on first before she puts it on her child that's sitting next to her. And I think that's a good picture of why some of us podcast, right? We need to save ourselves first, and then we can help others. And if that's the case, then we can't be the only ones going through these things, right? So being able to put yourself out there and feel vulnerable like that, right, I think is a huge thing, you know? And then when you find a community of people that also feel that way, oh my gosh, it validates everything, right?
Yes. And it makes life challenges like so much easier. Like when you finally like come out, you know, and you see that everybody, even men, like going through the same thing that, you know, us women going through mentally.
Yep.
So like to see that my streams and see how fast it grew just off of like, based off what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It was really shocking to me to see how fast my podcast grew.
It is one of those things I think we find out as podcasters that, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this show, is I want people like yourself to feel like you're not in a boat by yourself. You know, the pod fade nationally, as far as the US goes, people make about 8 episodes and then they quit. Right. So that's the national average on that. And so I see a lot of those people come through here. They start their stories, they start their journey in podcasting, and then it just gets tough. And so they just quit. And I think that's terrible because we lose their story. We lose any help they could have given to someone else, you know, that's in the same position or whatever, just like you were talking about. It's amazing when you find out, oh, crap, I'm not that unique. There's 10 other people here that are going through the exact same thing I'm going through at the exact time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not something like you can't step outside your door and go, hey, neighborhood, come support me, you know, but you can put a podcast up and tell them your challenges and your struggles. People come flocking. And that's just a wonderful thing about podcasting.
Yes, it is.
Sweet. It sounds like you got a whole house full. How many are we dealing with there?
Oh, I have 5 kids.
Oh my goodness. Give me the ages.
And they always somewhere in the back in the podcast. And they really like when I podcast and stuff too, though.
I bet they do. Yeah. Yeah. It's like sugar to a fly or something, right? I mean, they come running. So how old are these kids, if you don't mind? Just give me like an age range from this to this.
From 12 to 3.
Oh,
like that.
My goodness, boy, you do not like yourself, do you? You are you just keep adding those ages. That's rough, man. Oh,
do you have kids?
But my wife and I had 5. Yes.
Okay. So tell me, I want to know a little bit about your podcast too, though.
So we run a podcast network here in Waco, Texas. I don't know what part of country you're in, but we are halfway between Austin and Dallas. And the podcast network started back in 2019. We have a little over 100 shows on the network now. And not all of those are active, of course, but we put out about 40 different episodes a week. Like today, we released 8 different episodes of 8 different shows. So we put out a lot of content. And the one thing that I have noticed in doing this is that a lot of people lose their way real quickly because they feel overwhelmed or they don't know how to do this. And so I was hoping that a show like this might help that, and I might meet some folks like yourself who, you know, to be honest with you, Sweet, we probably never would have met had it not been for this stupid post that I put on Facebook or wherever it was. And you took a chance and you go, well, heck yeah, I want to talk about my show. And that was my hope, you know, that I would meet folks like yourself because of this.
Yes, I'm glad to even be able to be on your show. It's an honor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, and just to like talk to somebody from all the way in Texas with a podcast
it's amazing, isn't it? Just the fact that we hooked up at any point, You know,
Yes.
by the way, I love Nashville. I've been there a few times, and I love the city, but I don't get there often enough. Right? Do you like living in Nashville?
Yes, I love living down here.
Okay.
Like, as far as like activity wise,
Yeah.
but yeah, like you can party nonstop down here. It's like Vegas.
That's not always a good thing, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, it ain't always a good thing.
that's right, for somebody with 5 kids too. So so Sweet. Let's talk just real quick. I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'll let you get back at it because it sounds like you got a house full. So what do you see as success in this? Like as a podcaster, how long ago did you start this, by the way?
I started January.
Oh, okay. So you're
I really started December, but I launched it in January.
okay. So almost a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and this will come out in the new year. So you and I are speaking in the future. But having done this for a year now, basically, what do you see as success? What do you want from this thing?
Next after I really want a talk show.
Okay.
Yeah, I want a talk show. I want a real big talk show.
Like a classic
lot of-
format where you've got a desk and you bring out guests and you just talk to them about their projects and stuff. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, with a big, huge audience in the back, or yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of like that, like an Oprah Winfrey show, or
Okay.
like what's it, Evelyn? How you say her name?
Yeah, Ellen.
Yeah,
Yeah. The goofy one.
Yeah.
Sure, I got you. Yeah.
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 But I won't like, everybody go through stuff. So like comedians, whoever like come
Mhm.
through and just want to speak about like what, tell their story or whatever. Cause I just want people to feel comfortable being able to tell like what they've been through and how they got through it.
Well, that's not a bad thing to aspire to. I think that's a really cool goal to have, to want a talk show like that, to be on a stage and be able to help people tell their stories. I think that's kind of why we get into this, right? First, it's selfish, and second, it's to meet people and listen to their stories. And so I can certainly see you doing something like that. So what kind of equipment, what kind of setting and things like that do you use? Do you just record it on your laptop, or how do you record?
Right now, I'm audio.
Okay.
I'm audio right now.
And
I'm on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, all of that.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Sweet, it's been really good getting to know you these few minutes. Can I get you to just repeat your name and the name of your show, and then maybe give us some ways to reach you?
My name is GangstaSweet from the GangstaSweet Talk Podcast. You can reach me on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever you name it, on all streaming podcast platforms. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, Gangsta. We really did enjoy it. It's great, and I know that we'll talk again, and we'll be listening.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too. Check out more Podcast Diaries and plenty of other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. If you have a story to tell, reach out to us. info@roguemedianetwork.com. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.